The frescoes in the dome above the middle altar of the Syrian church. The mural paintings in the dome depict several themes, such as the Ascension and the Pantocrator. The drawings are divided into 8 equal parts, and in the centre of the dome is a cross. The cross has 4 wings of equal length, painted red against the background of 3 concentric circles in different shades of blue. 4 light blue rays appear evenly from the centre of the cross, surrounded by various circles. The 8 parts of the domed surface form a narrow arch as we move upwards. The 4 parts on the eastern, southern, western and northern sides have different drawings. The ornate parts are decorated with a symmetrical pattern of foliage. The eastern wall painting represents Christ's Ascension. In the upper region, where Christ is illustrated, sitting on a semicircular rainbow, representing a halo in which he appears to bless us using his right hand, while his left hand holds open a book with verses in Coptic, from John chapter 11 verse 25 and John chapter 8 verse 12. At Christ's head, Emmanuel is written in Coptic, and there are 4 angels in the frescoes of Christ. In the lower part, the Virgin is depicted with her hands uplifted, and she is accompanied by the 12 apostles. The southern wall of the dome has a similar structure to the eastern part. However, here there are 2 Old Testament themes, the visions of Isaiah and Ezekiel. It shows letters around Christ's head as depicted in the eastern wall painting. The 4 creatures surround him with prophecies about the end of the world, each with 6 wings, 2 of them covering their eyes and displaying a holy word on Christ's head, 3 times, as seen in Isaiah chapter 6 verse 3, where the cherubim chant, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory." On both sides of Christ there is a cloud in which the angels are illustrated. In the lower part appear 2 prophets, standing on either side of the altar, where the cup and the paten are located. The altar is covered with 2 pieces of cloth. On the left side of the altar, Isaiah the prophet appears, partially bowing down with his face turned to the right. The 6 winged creatures are known as the cherubim. They have 4 heads, the largest face is that of a man, and the other 3 smaller faces are of a lion, an eagle, and a bull around the altar. The second cherub holds tongs in his hand, holding a piece of coal in the shape of a cross, with which he touches the lips of the prophet Isaiah. On the other side of the altar, Ezekiel appears. He is identified by some letters of his name in Coptic. In his left hand he holds a ladder on which some of the Coptic texts are inscribed. He extends his right hand to the foot of the 3rd cherub, which is situated on his head. The cherub puts a scroll in the prophet's mouth, according to the words of Ezekiel the prophet. "Moreover, he said to me, Son of man, eat what you find. Eat this scroll, and go, speak to the house of Israel." Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 1. The western wall of the dome depicts the events of the manifestation as shown in the Gospels. Matthew chapter 17, verses 1 to 8. Mark chapter 9, verses 2 to 8. Luke chapter 9, verses 28 to 36. Christ is in the upper region. He is depicted inside a blue oval. On this oval the Coptic words Phai, Bay, Bashiri, Baminrit, which means "This is my beloved Son." Matthew chapter 17, verse 5. Written beside Christ's feet is the word Emmanuel in Coptic. 6 white rays appear from behind his back and give an impression of transparency. Moses and Elijah are depicted on both sides of Christ. In Christ's left hand he holds a scroll, that is held together by a red ribbon. Moses and Elijah's identities were deciphered through Coptic letters that represent their names. At the bottom are the three disciples, Peter, James and John. Peter is to the left, James under Christ's feet, and John to the right. As Peter and John lift their hands, they depict the character of James under Christ's feet. In the background there are some buildings and houses with towers attached to crosses. The fourth fresco of the dome contains the upper part of a man with hair and a beard as pure as wool, seated on a throne rich in ornaments, surrounded by a blue oval. Above his head, Coptic words are written, which translate to ancient days, a clear reference to Daniel's vision. I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair on his head was like pure wool. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. Around his head is a halo, beside which Coptic letters are engraved, meaning Emmanuel. To his right and left sides there are 5 angels looking towards him. On the lower part of the wall, the prophet Daniel is wearing traditional attire, consisting of loose trousers, a short jacket, a scarf, and a cover. Using his right hand, he points to the ancient days. In his left hand is a staircase leaning towards the right-hand side of his head. It has the names Anok Daniel inscribed on it. The inscribed name of Daniel is further proof that he is the prophet Daniel. In the upper part of the lower region appear a number of living creatures, along with the fire and horn as mentioned in Daniel's vision, Daniel chapter 7, verse 11. On the right side, Abraham, the father of all fathers, and on the right of his head is an open book. This is a sign of Daniel's vision, as it is written, and the books were opened, Daniel chapter 7, verse 10. To Daniel's left, Melchizedek offers bread and wine to Abraham, as written in Genesis chapter 14, verses 18 to 19. A symbol of the Eucharist in the New Testament according to the Coptic liturgy. He is accompanied by a person carrying a dish with scissors, and written next to it are some Coptic letters depicting the words of Isaac, son of our father Abraham. This is indeed strange, because Isaac had not been born yet.